Hello Year 5. So today we're going to look at edit and improving your writing that you completed yesterday. So when we edit, the idea of the process is that you are going to make changes to improve your writing. So when you edit, you're going to decide what you're going to keep the same and what you're going to change or improve on. Now, you may think that's a waste of time, think, well, why do I have to do that? I don't need to do that, my writing's perfect. Well, I'll clue you in. Even really successful authors like J.K. Rowling, she'd have written up to 10 different drafts of one of her books. That is how many times she went back and she edited and improved her book. So that just goes to show that even the most successful authors, they also need to edit and improve, which means I guarantee you need to edit and improve your writing too. So your job today is you are going to be editors. So you're going to go through your writing, you're going to check for any mistakes or any improvements that you might need to add to your writing. So what I would like to do is I'd like you to pause the screen. I'd like you to read this paragraph. This is one of my part of my paragraph from yesterday, and I made some mistakes. I went back and checked this yesterday, and I've made a few mistakes. So I've spotted my mistakes. I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can spot the mistakes. We're just looking for the punctuation. Don't worry about spelling. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about any clauses. Just want you to identify where I've made some mistakes in my punctuation. So pause the video, and when you're done, let's come back and have a look together. Okay, let's see if you spotted the same mistakes that I made in my work yesterday. So, I had capital S for spider. Don't need the capital name there for the S. I know that my name of the spider was the Portia spider, so that capital letter wasn't necessary. I did, however, need a capital letter at the beginning of my sentences. Those of you on the other end of the video, you know who you are. Check for your capital letters at the beginning of a sentence. So, Miss Humphrey made the same mistake. So there, I need a capital letter. I also missed out on my comma, okay, for an expanded noun phrase. If I've got two adjectives, I must include that comma to split my adjectives apart. Now, here I use an apostrophe for possession in that the map was belonging to the spider. Now, I made a mistake there. That would not be split up as it is. It would just be its surroundings. So I do not need my apostrophe there. I also replace here with a comma when really I should have included my conjunction here to complete my complex sentence. So I missed out a word there instead. And here again, I forgot my comma for my expanded noun phrase. Tut, tut, tut. So if you did spot all those mistakes, well done, because Miss Humphrey did not spot those mistakes yesterday and made a really big mistake. So I've now gone back and I've corrected my work to make sure that I've included all of those changes. So I'd like you to now pause the video and I want you to go back and have a look at your work that you did yesterday. Are there any punctuation mistakes? So I only want you to look for punctuation mistakes for the time being. If you do have at hand a different colour or pen or pencil, use that to edit your work. Once you've done that, come back and we'll move on. So I'm going to improve my writing. So I'm going to pick apart the different features I had to write yesterday. And I'm going to see if there's any way that I can improve my writing. So yesterday I used formal vocabulary. So I'm taking this sentence because I think I can improve on the sentence and make it better. So the Portia spider has strange appearance. Okay. Now, I have already noticed a mistake in there. So I might need to go in there and add in an A, okay? So the spider has a strange appearance, okay? But I think I need to change the word strange. So pause the video. Can you think of a more formal synonym, so a word that means the same for strange? Let's see if you come up with the same one as me. Okay. Did you come up with the same one as me? Well done if you did, and even more well done if you came up with a different one. So I changed the word strange to unique, okay? I feel like this has a more formal tone to it. So unique makes it a little bit more special rather than it just being strange. So I think it adds more of a deeper context or deeper meaning about what this Portia spider looks like, okay? Now, I repeated myself in this sentence, so I definitely know that I need to improve on this one. So firstly, it has 8 large, big eyes. Now, if you think about that, large and big mean exactly the same thing. So I can't repeat myself. So I'm going to see if I can think of another word whilst you pause the video and see if you can think of a more formal synonym for this word as well. Okay, did you come up with the same word that I did? So I went back and thought about my vocabulary map that I used yesterday and I remembered, I described his eyes as being bulging eyes. So I've used the word bulging, okay, and this is my more formal language, so that I'm not repeating myself with the size of the spider's eyes. Okay, let's have a look at the next one. So, this skilled hunter has 2 fangs. Now, that's a pretty boring sentence, so I can definitely improve on that sentence. So, I'd like to pause the video, and whilst you're pausing the video as well, I'm going to have a think as well. Can I think of an expanded noun phrase that I can add? Pause the video, see if you can come up with one on your own, and let's see what we come up with. Okay. Did any of you remember those words from my vocabulary list yesterday? See? All the hard work pays off. I didn't have to think of anything new. I'd already done the hard work beforehand. So this skilled hunter has 2 piercing, venomous fangs. Okay, so I've got my descriptive adjectives and I've also used a subject-specific word there. Now, because it's an expanded noun phrase, I need to make sure I include my comma. Anyone come up with anything different? Let me know. Now, here we're looking at the formal language again. I now would like to add in a compound sentence. So I now need to try and add some additional information that I can add to that sentence. And I'm going to use the conjunction and that's going to glue these 2 independent main clauses together. So I want to think about what is unique about its appearance and see what information I can add. So pause the video and see if you can come up with a compound sentence using the word and. Okay. Did anyone come up with a better sentence than me? I'm sure you did. You always do, year 5. So the Portia spider has a unique appearance and has adapted to its environment. Okay, so I've just added some additional information onto the end of that sentence, but I have now created a compound sentence where I have 2 main clauses glued together with my coordinating conjunction. Now let's see if we can now do a complex sentence. So if you've forgotten a complex sentence is when we have a main clause and a subordinate clause. Okay, and we're going to use one of our subordinating conjunctions when to glue these 2 sentences together. So here's my sentence. The Portia spider uses its superb eyesight to map its surroundings in 3D. Pause the video. Can you come up with a complex sentence to add some additional information using the word when? Okay, now you may have remembered this from my writing yesterday. So the Portia spider uses its superb eyesight to map its surroundings in 3D when it searches for prey. So I've given a reason for when it's going to use that eyesight and why it's then going to be helpful. So you need to go through and you need to check your work. So you need to check, have I used formal vocabulary? Have I used an expanded noun phrase? And have I used compound and complex sentences? Okay, so at the end of this video now, I'd like you to go back and have a look at your work from yesterday. Using your coloured pen, can you go back and can you change any vocabulary that you think needs to be improved? Can you think of some synonyms to improve on your vocabulary? Have you missed any punctuation? Have you missed any commas? You also might think that you might be able to add in some colons or some semicolons from your grammar lesson we looked at the other day. So see if you can try and add in some new punctuation that's going to help you. And need to make sure that you've included a compound sentence and a complex sentence. So I need to see at least 1 example of fanboys and I need to see at least 1 example of I saw a wubub. Good luck.